Hello everyone. I'm Sachin Kalia and hope all of you are doing good and safe at your end during this COVID situation. Today I'm with my friend Abhishek Maitre, and so let's get to know that what is he exploring nowadays during this COVID situation and how he's enhancing his skill set. Yes,
So,
Abhishek,
hi,
welcome
hi,
on board.
Sachin. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity, my dear. And in this COVID situation, first of all, before that, I would like to tell you I was exploring some of the new things for me. In fact, it would be beneficial for others as well. This is ARM templates, uh, Azure Resource Manager templates. And I have overall around 15 years of experience, but I'm always curious to understand and learn some new things on my own, or maybe with the help of such a guys like Sachin. Yes, Sachin.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, quite interesting to know. Yes, you are exploring ARM template. That is again one of the prominent service of Azure native capabilities. As far as I know, yes, it will be interesting. What and why are we? Why should we choose ARM template? Though there are various ways to provision a resource within Azure.
So
Yeah.
yes, thanks for asking this question. Very wonderful question. In fact, before that, we should understand what is the ARM template. ARM template is the Azure Resource Manager template. See, there are various ways of provisioning any resource in the Azure. One way is the brilliant way, and the easiest way is to go to the portal and provision your resource. And second, another way, which is preferred by the developers and the kind of architects people, is the using of ARM templates. And ARM templates are basically the JSON templates, and it is also categorized as an infrastructure as a code. So this would be beneficial in terms of, as you asked the question, why should we choose it? So there are various
Yeah.
reasons, like declarative. It has the declarative syntax because it is a JSON template, and it is clearly everything clearly mentioned in the JSON format of JavaScript object notation format. So easy to understand by the developers, and as soon as you provision it, I mean you start your provisioning it, it will take a couple of seconds in provisioning a lot of other extra things which you cannot perform in the same time on the portal, because comparatively provisioning into the portal is quite time taking, otherwise easy. On the second hand, on the other side, through the ARM template, we can provision a lot of resources in a single go. That is the biggest advantage of ARM template. Second is what the tasks you are doing repeatedly. You can just write the template against those tasks and you just run it. As I said, it will take a second to start provisioning, and within a minute you can provision a lot number of resources. Third thing is orchestration is very easy of all the resources. It has the modular file approach. Like you can keep all the resources in a single ARM template, or maybe you can prepare various different ARM templates for provisioning your resources. You may keep the resources on one sort of resources in single ARM template, and dependent ARM resources in the another ARM template. It has the biggest advantage of extensibility. As many times you can extend this provisioning, which is not quite easy on the portal. Testing is quite easy. Preview, you can even preview your changes by the various different tools available nowadays in the market. It has the built-in validation as well, and tracking of your deployment is quite awesome, I would say. So although it has a various different reasons why should we go with the ARM template, and the biggest one I would prefer is CI/CD template. It supports to the CI/CD
Yeah.
pipeline. It is very easily adoptable or acceptable by the DevOps. Yeah,
Yeah.
yes, Sajin.
So yeah. I'm crazy to know whatever you have advised. So what I have understood, it is very clean in reading and to write whenever you write, and it is very easy to provision a resource when you consider an enterprise application. And as far as I understood, it can be best fit into the hub and spoke model where you have various repeatable tasks, and you have to provision a various resource on identical resource you have to provision into the different into different hubs. So yeah, crazy to
Yeah,
see
yeah,
the demonstrations. Yeah,
that's true, Sachin. You filled the gap. In fact, I missed a
yeah,
couple of things. You have filled the gap. Thank you very much for that. And today I have one of the smallest template to start with. Although in near
yeah,
future we would provision a lot of other things, because always the starting should be the smaller one. So I have chosen myself a storage template today, which quite easy and quite handy. So see, if you can see my screen, you would see a
yeah,
small template here, which is
yeah,
I have prepared this morning. But I can
yeah,
tell you how to create this template from the scratch, from the beginning. It's
yeah,
quietly, it will take hardly up 2-3 minutes of yours. So
yeah. Sure.
for this matter, because I'm using for this demonstration the Visual Studio Code, my preferred code editor. And second, in this Visual Studio Code editor, you have extensions, and I have chosen ARM tools. If you see
Okay.
this one, so if you see, this is provided by Microsoft and widely accepted by the developers, and it has given a lot of different commands to start writing your own JSON for ARM template for any sort of resource, hardly matters. So I'm going to use this ARM template toolkit for my demonstration. So for that matter, I would go file new, and as soon as I do file new, currently in the editor, let me, yeah, make some space. Yeah. So go to the bottom. You see the current type is the plain text. Here I have to
Yeah, yeah.
choose, click on this and go for JSON. So here is it.
Perfect.
Right. Once you do JSON, it would start understanding your JSON format. Along with it would start linting and managing your template. So as I have said, like I have already downloaded the extension ARM tools. So that give me the privilege to write ARM and exclamatory mark. As soon as I write exclamatory mark and hit the tab button, so it gives me the minimum bare things, the template, empty template for any sort of provisioning, right? So this is the template we would need for any sort of resource provisioning. The first line, it has the several different properties like schema, content version, parameter, function, variable, resources, and outputs. So the first two things are mandatory, and the resource part is mandatory. Otherwise, rest other like parameter, function, variables, and outputs, these properties are not mandatory. I mean, these are optional.
Yeah,
These could be set by you yourself on your own convenience, right? But we
yeah.
need to understand this schema. Schema has mainly two different parts. One is this one, your a version of
Preview
the
version.
schema.
Yeah,
There are various
yeah,
versions available in the Microsoft portal, but by default it is providing me the latest version, which is of 1 for 2019. And the another thing is kind of template you are going to use. Because we are going to use a deployment template, so it is giving me the deployment template. There are 3-4 types templates available for different purposes, but our purpose is to deployment the resource. So this template would be used. Content version is just a kind of your versioning system for your own convenience. If you are making some changes here, that's fine. You can keep your numbering system yourself, that's fine. If otherwise you are not touching it, there is no harm, but has to be there. Third thing is resources, because it is a mandatory one, and that is the place where we will going to provision our resources. So how to start it? I went into the resources part, and what I need to do is, so because in the initial conversation, I said I would be creating a storage template today. So for storage template, once again, go to the ARM dash storage. See this. As soon as I write any one of this sort of keywords relevant to storage, it would give me these options. So as soon as I choose ARM storage, just click on it. This bingo,
yeah.
I mean, you get the template ready with you. So you need
Indeed.
not to remember everything by your own. So kind of parameters it is required. If you are start writing these template yourself, probably there are chances where you can forget something, you can miss something. But in this template tool, you are not going to miss anything. You need to just pass your values, and that is it, right? So here it is. So storage account 1, by default it has given this name. I would recommend to change it because there is a reason. If you do not change this, there are chances when this name has been occupied by some another user some another time. So there would be the collapse of the name. So your template would start giving you error. So always recommended to pass a very unique name which is not available, which is not occupied by any of the storage account. For my sake, I would give this sort of QWERT 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't think somebody has given such a name, so it would be very, very unique
Okay.
for me, right? And type is a mandatory kind of property you have to pass
Storage
anyhow.
one.
What?
Yes.
So what we are creating the template for is a storage account. So it will by default pick the storage account yourself, right? So tags is not very mandatory, but it is very, very beneficial for you to understand what kind of template you are provisioning, what kind of resource it is in searching time.
Yeah.
If you
Yeah.
pass it or do not pass it, I just leave it.
Yeah.
So there is no
So
harm.
yeah,
Yeah.
indeed.
Sachin,
So
do you have any
tags.
question?
Yeah. Yeah. Actually, I was wondering about the tags. So tag are what I understood. Tags are generally helpful in such scenario when you are about to understand the cost and costing of your resources. Then tags are much beneficial in that case.
Right.
So this
In
is what
fact,
I understand.
yeah. When you are going to search for your resources, so if a similar kind of resource you wanted to search, if you have passed the tags, that would be far easy for you to grab
Okay.
your
Okay.
kind of resources.
Yeah.
Next is the
Yeah. Yeah.
location. Which location you are going to use for your resource where you are going to provision. What I'm doing is, because I want to provision my storage account at the place where my resource group is available. Currently, I do not know where it is. So
Mhm.
if you see, resource group is a kind of method appearing here, and dot location is a
Yeah.
kind of property here. So I am using the
Yeah.
predefined Azure provided resource group method,
Mhm.
which will give me the location of current resource group uh,
Yeah.
where it is,
It
right?
somewhere it calculates value at the runtime. What I
Absolutely.
understood. Yeah.
Absolutely. And kind is storage type. V2 version I have chosen standard, and in the SKU, it has by default taken the premium LRS. This is a combination of two things. One is kind of resource you are using standard or premium. Second is latency resolution kind of. So here it is LRS, and tier is premium. Okay. So I think you must have some idea about it. Okay. And output
Yeah.
I'm keeping it blank, right? What I'm doing
Yeah.
is I'm just
Very.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm going to save this template, save, and I can keep this template at my desired place. I am giving that demonstration demos storage, right? And dot
Okay.
JSON.
Perfect.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
once I save it, I just need to remember where I've saved it. Learning under Azure. Okay, fine. So now you can go to your inbuilt terminal by either by going view and a terminal here, because I have opened it already. So I would go to that particular place where it is cd Azure, right? And here, if you see, I have various templates. The last I have created is demo storage JSON, right? So how to use
Perfect.
it now? Because this is a time when I need to provision it on the Azure portal, because I have already logged in into my Azure portal. So otherwise there is a command you can use it, which would help you to uh, connect to your Azure portal, which is connect AZ account. As soon as you
Awesome.
click on this command, it will ask for the Azure credentials from you. I believe I have already connected, so it will not ask me anything. AZ module actually supports 6.0 version and above on the PowerShell. If you are using
Okay.
version below 6.0, the AZ module would not run. I have downloaded your latest version of, I mean, the 6th and above version of PowerShell. You have to write PWSH. Once you write pwsh, you are good to go. So your terminal would be quite different, and you would start looking at .NET instead of PowerShell, right? So here now you are able to write the Azure command. So what command would
Yeah.
be helpful for provisioning the resource? Because currently we have created the template, but how to provision it through Azure? So there is a command. I'm just taking this command from my another place and typing it here. So this is a command, new dash az resource group deployment, because what we are doing, we are going to deploy some resource. So this would be the command. Dash name stands for the giving the name to this Azure deployment group, right? So this does not mean you are giving any storage name here. So this would be the name for deployment group. Resource group name. I have already existing resource group available in my Azure account. So I'm going to use it. Otherwise, what you have to do, you have to provision one resource group first, then come back here. And template file. What is the template file name here is? I'm using this file name is demo.
Demo storage.json.
Sorry, demo storage.json, right? And I think that is only the demand for this template, because we are not going to use any sort of other parameters instead the resource group name. See here, why I do need the resource group name is because I'm using the resource group location as well, right? So just one
thing about all these error we have seen onto the runtime, and we got a resolution of those things as well parallelly. So this is the beauty of whenever an error comes in at the runtime. So
that's true.
that's really great.
That's true.
Yeah.
And that is why, I mean, initially I was, because I faced this challenge at the time of I was creating the very first template in this, and the same challenge that is good for the learners too. If such kind of error comes, how they will mitigate this kind of problem. So although
Indeed.
there was no problem with the template, and there was no problem with the command as well, but only challenge was it was defeating the uniqueness of the storage template name. Here if you see, there are
so let's
it's a result output, and if you notice, this provisioning state is succeeded.
Succeeded.
It means it means this storage account has been provisioned on my Azure portal under the demo RG resource group, and the mode of this thing is incremental. There are two, incremental and complete. The differences we would discuss in the subsequent coming demos, but let me go to my Azure portal now. Welcome. Here it is. So if you see, this is my Azure portal, and I am very well there in the demo RG, and let me refresh it. Oh, bingo! We received one new item in there, and you see, if it is a storage account, and that is the name we have passed to our in our template. If you remember, that is a quite complicated name. Just open this. And just open this, and we'll see what kind of things we have provisioned. If you remember, we have chosen as a premier account, isn't it? The performance tier, and we chose for LRS, and we chose for storage v2. So things are very well, because my resource group is located on the North Europe region, so it has taken by default the same one, right? So I think that is a quite easy and straightforward storage account creation. And
indeed, it is a great one. And so concluding the things what I have understood, it is very clean in nature. Whenever you think to provision a resource on a very repeatable, you have a repeatable task to provision same resource, then you should consider ARM template. Microsoft provides very good tools that are already integrated with Visual Studio. It is very clean in reading and writing, and you can easily write your own set of commands, its own set of ARM template. And even we were fortunate to see various areas onto the runtime can be a very key point for those who are new by to ARM template. Whenever they write ARM template, and if they mitigate, how can they mitigate all such occurrence and
Right.
to overcome on those things. A beautiful demonstration and the things provided by you, Abhishek. Yes,
Thank,
indeed, it is a great one.
thank you very much,
Yeah.
Sachin. Thanks a lot
And
for.
so
Was,
it would be good if you can share your Twitter handle. And yes, I can see, guys, you can
okay.
reach Abhishek Maitri on Twitter, and Abhi Maitri. You can reach him on LinkedIn as well, and he has son of SPM at outlook.com. So there are ways more to reach him. Yeah, and guys, you can reach me on Twitter handle. Yes, my Twitter handle is at .NET Piper, and you can reach me on my blog, which is www.netpiper.com. And recently we have started our YouTube channel. It is Cloud Pipers. So you can reach me or Abhishek for, and you can share your demands if you want to learn anything. Yeah, we will try to do that as well. So thank you,
Thank you
Abhishek.
very much, Sachin.
It was wonderful for your time.
Thank you.